Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on it and found it to be Christian burial.
How can that be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be se offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I draw myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act hath three branches. To act, to do, to perform. Argue, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, Goodman Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drowns himself, it is willy-nilly he goes, mark ye that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argo, he that is not guilty of his own death, shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, Mary, is it crowner's quest law?
You hath the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why there thou sayest, in the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world, to drown or hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. There is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and gravemakers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What? Art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam dig. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to purpose, confess thyself.
Go to!
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
Thy wit and good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argo, the gallows may do well to thee. To it again, come.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Mary, I can tell.
To it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with a beating. And when you are asked this question next, say, a grave maker, for his houses last till doomsday. Go, get thee in and fetch me a stoup of liquor.
In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract all the time for my behold. Oh, methought there was nothing meet.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business? He sings in grave making.
Custom hath made it in him the property business.
'Tis even so. The little hand of employment hath daintier sense. That skull had a tongue in it, it could sing once. How the knave jawed it to the ground, as if 'twere Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. This might be the pate of a politician, which this ass now overreaches. One that would circumvent God, might it not? Aye, my lord. Or of a courtier, which could say, Good morrow, sweet lord. How dost thou, sweet lord? This might be my lord such a one that praised my lord such a one's horse when he went to beg it, might it not? Aye, my lord. Why, even so. And now my lady worms chapless and gnawed about the mazzard with the sexton's spade. Here's fine revolution, and we had the trick to see it. Did these bones cost no more the breeding but to play at loggets with them? Mine ain't to think on it.
A pickaxe and a spade for a shrouding sheet. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is me.
There's another. Why may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his crudities now, his quilities, his cases, his tenures, and his tricks? Why does he suffer this mad knave now to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel, and will not tell him of his action of battery? This fellow might be in times a great buyer of land with his statues, his recognizances, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines and the recovery of his recoveries? To have this fine pail full of fine dirt? Will his vouchers vouch for him no more of his purchases and double ones too, than the length and breadth of a pair of indentures? The very conveyances of his lands will scarcely lie in his box. And must the inheritor himself have no more? Ha!
Not a jot more, my lord.
Isn't that parchment made of sheepskins?
Aye, my lord, and calfskins too.
There are sheep and calves which seek out assurance in that. I will speak to this fellow. Whose graves is this, sirrah?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it to be in it, and to say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, and not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill lie again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
For what woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but, rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo this. By the Lord, Horatio, this 3 years I have took note of it. The age is grown so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier he gulls his gibe. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was that very day that young Hamlet was born, he that is mad and sent into England.
Aye, Mary, why was he sent to England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there. Or if he do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as bad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith, e'en with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotted before he die, as we have many pocket courses nowadays that will scarce hold the laying in, he will last you some 8 or 9 year. A tenor will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with this trade that he will keep out water a great while, and your water is a sore decay of your horse and dead body. Here's a skull now hath lying you in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A horse and mad fellows it was, whose you think it was.
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was, sir, your skull, the king's jester.
This?
E'en that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jests, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know now not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning, quite chapfallen? Now, get you to my lady's chamber and tell her. Let her paint an inch thick, to this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked of this fashion in the earth?
Even so.
And smelled so? Ha!
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio. Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping bunghole?
'Twere to consider too curiously to consider so.
No, faith, not a jot. But to follow him thither with modesty enough, and likelihood to lead it, as thus. Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is earth. Of earth we make loam. And why of that loam, whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth, which kept the world in awe, should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw.
Names as professional vocalist.
Mr. Sanflone is wearing a very nice tie right now. Okay. Why are you still videotaping? That's weird.
Jacob as... Wait, what is Jacob?
Jacob is Jacob.
Gravedigger 1! Is great. And Gravedigger 2! Alex as Horatio.
Oh yeah. Okay, now how do I get this thing to stop? Do I press that button?
In youth when I did love. Oh, yes.
Sayest, and the more pity that grateful
Well, these are AP students right here.
in youth when I did love, methought my love was good.
Play at
Check out
Log
these
with them.
J's.
My name to think on it. Can we use your card for this?
It's gonna be
Run! Run, Forrest! Run!
That's it?
That's all I have.
Shirt you're wearing.
Go.
Very good. What? It's a very nice shirt you're wearing, Mr. Sample.
Tis for the dead and not the That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the nav jaws into the is it nave? Damn it!
Shirt you're wearing. Very nice.
Okay, now go. Don't look at me like that.
And now, how abhorred in my imagination it is.
It's almost as bad as intellectuality.
What's wrong with veggie pizza?
Damn, I got the margarita. Switch with me.
You got that right?
Yes.
Good.
Spoon is too big. My spoon is too big.
You almost said whole, right?
You don't know how to read. The words are right there.
Jesus, we may return, Horatio. I honestly can't do this. Alas, poor Yorick!
What?
I'm not getting into college.
Dead hands.
I did a better job than that.